Earlier today, the Intelligence Committee interviewed Jay Clayton, President Trump's pick to be the next director of national intelligence. Clayton would succeed Bill Pulte, President Trump's controversial choice to fill in temporarily following the resignation of Tulsi Gabbard. Let's go ahead and bring in CBS News congressional reporter Taurean Small. So one subject that kept coming up is the relitigation of the 2020 election, where multiple senators asked Clayton who won. And I'm not sure that we got a yes or no answer from him or an exact answer. It sort of seemed like he tried to avoid having to answer that question.
Sure, and I think that's been the through line for Democrats when it comes to these Trump appointments, right? Time and time again, they've used the same prompt. Did Joe Biden win the 2020 election? And as we saw with Clayton in this hearing, they were very unsatisfied with his very measured and calculated response. He says Joe Biden was certified, similar to what we've been hearing from other Trump appointees. The problem with that, though, is Democrats are making the case or underscoring that these people put in these very high-ranking agencies and departments are in line with the president, further underscoring their concern that there isn't an air of independence to these departments and agencies. As it relates to Clayton, he said flat out that he's not an election denier when asked that question by Senator Warner. But it was a back and forth with Senator Ossoff that got especially heated when he refused to restate his previously said answer, which was he believes that Joe Biden was certified, not necessarily that Joe Biden won. Other really standout moments during this hearing was a back and forth with Senator Wyden and Clayton when Wyden pressed him on his signing of a subpoena for 4 New York Times journalists for reporting on the vulnerabilities associated with the new Air Force One that was gifted from Qatar. This was one that Clayton really didn't want to answer, saying that this is a matter of a national security investigation. But when pressed on this, he said that he does respect the First Amendment. Wyden left that hearing pretty early before it adjourned, and he told the press, he told us that he was very unhappy with this answer and his back and forth with Clayton on this, saying that he essentially flunked his answers when it comes to his questions. He was asked whether or not he would support Clayton for his confirmation, ultimately voting on him. And while he didn't say no, he again reiterated that he felt that he did not answer sufficiently to quell any concerns he had about him.
All right, let's circle back to what we were talking about in terms of 2020. Let's go ahead and listen to an exchange between Senator Ossoff and Clayton.
Yes or no? Did the President of the United States pardon a convicted narco trafficker?
Yes.
Who won the 2020 election?
I'm not going to do this with you.
You refuse to answer a basic question about who won a presidential election, but you asked to lead America's intelligence community? Isn't it humiliating to be unable to answer this question, to have to indulge the president's delusions? We know, you know, everybody in this room knows the truthful answer to that question. Why can you not give it?
I think I gave you the answer.
Are you aware that Director Gabbard was present at the Fulton County raid in Georgia earlier this year?
You discussed that with me yesterday in your office.
The first time you learned that Director Gabbard was present at that raid was in my office yesterday?
It was the first time that, in my recollection, I've thought about it recently. Now, was I aware of it before?
What?
You brought it to my attention yesterday.
Okay.
I had not thought.
So you had not known
I
until...
had not thought about it until you brought it to my attention yesterday.
Your answers lack credibility. Your testimony lacks credibility. You're being evasive and you're not being candid or forthright. And everybody across the country is going to watch this and know that.
So certainly a spicy moment there. Given what we're hearing, what are his chances of being confirmed here?
Well, it's curious. I mean, we haven't really seen any major pushback from Republicans, even though they have a majority. It's still quite thin. So 1 or 2 defectors could essentially squash his chances from getting across the finish line. The thing about this, though, is the reason why he's testifying today is because President Trump interfered in this process. He was set to go before this panel a month ago, and there was seemingly a bipartisan appetite to advance him and confirm him sooner than later because of his interim or his predecessor's interim replacement in Bill Pulte, who has no experience or background in the intel community. That was cause for concern for both Republicans and Democrats, which is why they were looking to fast track him. They were also looking to quickly pass forth legislation that will reauthorize some very significant portions of FISA, a national or tool used for the intel community when it comes to surveillance. That was ultimately put on hold because President Trump wanted Senate Republicans to advance the Save America Act, his national voter ID law, as well as concurrently confirm his replacement, Clayton's replacement in his current role. Now that there's been some time, Democrats are having an opportunity to thoroughly grill him. We're seeing a lot more of those Democrats come out and say that they're uncertain about his futures, even though we haven't heard from Republicans yet addressing any concerns or reservations that they have about Clayton's confirmation.
Okay, Taurean Small, a busy day on Capitol Hill. Thank you.